Hello and welcome to Leonie Kent's YouTube stream. We're here in Maidstone. Now, if you are just joining, and hello and welcome, we've got 15 minutes of a pre-tour chat. If you're watching on catch up, you can scroll forward 15 minutes to the tour proper. If you don't want to don't listen to the free tool chat. The choice, as always, is yours. So let's see who's on board. Hello, everybody. We've got Tish, we've got Nikki, we've got Margaret. We're talking about bloody moons. Yes. Hello, Susan. Hello, Tricia. I know we've got Trista there and Fran. I had a quick nip in the chat earlier. Saw you chatting to each other. Hello, Kathy. Who have I missed? Have I missed anybody? It's saying I've only got 6 on, and I think I've already said 6 names. Who on earth would miss the pre-tour chat? I don't know. I wouldn't, ever. Wouldn't be much for pre-tour chat, probably, if I wasn't actually on the stream. Hello, Tina. How are you? How are you? How is everybody? The weather has been entirely hysterical. Hello, Laurie. It was meant to be beautiful sun today. And I was like, oh, it's going to be wonderful for later, smug. And then it became incredibly cloudy and overcast. The clouds are indeed clearing a little bit. But I've brought my brolly. Not of course to cover me, but I did get concerned about Mr. Gimbal. Hello, Alfie. Hello, Mummy Sanderson. How is everybody? So, it's rather windy. Windy? So I wonder if we're going to have Mike with us today, because we didn't see him in the quiz, didn't we? Which is unlike Michael. So let's see if Michael joins us. Hello, Cheryl. So has everybody had lovely weekends? I was at the Cattery yesterday, so had a lovely, said hello to 2 kittens, Cliff and Dave, who I actually have got a video to show you. And I can't remember which is which. One, I call them yin and yang. Well, anyway, the black one has now developed a white stripe down his back, which is hysterical. Heavy rain in Shropshire. Heavy rain in Shropshire. That's not good. The last week, I'll be honest, the weather's been rather hit and miss. But we are in September now, aren't we? So sadly. There seems to be an inordinate amount of small midgy flies flying around, which they can buzz off. I've already had something sniff my private. Yes, I heard the alarm. I was on my phone, knew it was coming, still jumped. Heavy rain in Cornwall. So firstly, this dog looked as if it wanted to say hello to me. I went to say hello, and then it was like, no, actually, I'm not sure I do. So then I went on and met another one, 9-month-old, kind of tan husky type of thing. Not a husky, not a Subaru, which is a car. But I want to say something, no, not a Subaru. Anyway, it was a dog. Biggish dog. And dog went in for the kill, and the owner said, I'm really sorry. He has to sniff everybody's private. I said, well, it's fine if it's a dog and not a human. So, whatever. I know it's just a dog greeting. I'm not going to return the favour. I'm annoyed now what the name of that dog might. No, not a Saluki, you see. Not a Subaru, not a Saluki. Like a kind of more of a chunky but tan. Hello, Ronnie. Tan and creamish type of dog. So, yes. Might not even start with an S, though. That's, of course, is the challenge, isn't it? We'll find out it's actually definitely not a spaniel or a terrier or anything like that. My gimbal feels rather heavy today. Hubby's whinging. Oh, behave. Tell him to join the tour or chillax. Hubbies, what can we say? Chunky and tan, I know. Not a staffy. Taller than a staffy. Never know. Might see it on the way. Ah, Mr. Mike, been talking about you. Where were you for the quiz? Where were you, Michael? We had no, I would say we had no absolutely ridiculous answers on the quiz, but that would be a big fat lie. We didn't have your ridiculous answers on the quiz. Hello, Sue and Rolo. So yes, we were all wondering where you were. Well, I know I was. I don't know why I'm expecting suddenly Mike to write out this whole literary essay of, well, what I did was I went down to the shop and I picked up a pineapple and then I decided I'd buy some beetroot and a bit of shredded wheat. And by the time I'd finished my shopping, well, it was just too late to join the quiz. He thinks he had a lesson at the same time. Did you learn anything? Well, I don't think you'd have learned as much as if you'd been to the quiz. That's all I'm saying, Michael. So what else exciting things have I got to? Well, as some of you will know on my Facebook page, Leonie on Tour, I've had a fox create their own den in the back garden, which is a massive trip hazard, may I say. And now also, because I've got an apple tree out the back, it's also getting apples dropping off the tree and going down the den. So before I went to Lincoln, I decided that I would remove said apple. There was a singular apple. I thought, I'm going to move it because it's going to get rotten in there. If the foxes are in there, it's going to stink, whatever. So I got a stick and that didn't work. So then I got a bit of broken decking, which I have to take down to the tip. Managed to wheel that one up, and kind of your heart's going a bit, oh, I wonder if Mr. Fox isn't going to suddenly launch out and savage me. Not that it would, but overactive imagination. I've come back. There's now 3 rolled down into the front of the den. I'm like, oh, this is ridiculous. So anyway, I was picking up all the fallen apples, I've got a collection of, these are the rotten apples, have to go in the food bin. These are the passable apples that will be left that long that they'll then go rotten and have to go in the food bin. And these are the apples that actually I need to do something with. They could be edible. So, well, they're all edible, to be fair. And as I'm, crouching down, picking up apples, I turn around and Peach has suddenly got half her body down the fox den. And I'm like, I'm a little bit concerned about this because obviously I'm assuming there are foxes in the fox den and I don't know. This is when we need Leslie. Leslie's not on yet, but Leslie would then Google and let me know mating season when foxes go to bed. Oh, Tina, leave some apples for the foxes to eat. There's about 100 on the floor. They're not going anywhere. They'll have a fox party if they want. So anyway, I'm like, well, do they go to bed at bedtime? But they're not because they're nocturnal, so they're probably in there during the day. And I'm like, has she stuck her head down? Does she know these foxes? Are they going, hello, Peachy, nice to see you? Are they going, go away, Peachy? Oh, actually, did they create the den, decide that actually there's too many cats around and the owner wanders around picking up apples and they're not going to stay there? What I could do, of course, is perhaps rig up some outdoor camera and actually see if the fox den is occupied, but that would be far too much effort. The apples are also eaten by a collection of slugs, snails. Oh no, Tish, you're so last year. Leslie told us that. I need Leslie now to tell me what bedtime is for foxes. Oh, do you know, and I know Leslie's already told me she can't make it today. She's out, which is outrageous. So I hope actually, Leslie, if you're watching, applaud that I remembered you're not here, and Tish or somebody else is going to have to Google what time foxes go to bed. I guess if they're baby foxes, they go to bed slightly earlier after Mummy and Daddy Fox have read them a bedtime story. And if they're older, teenagers, probably not back till about 2 in the morning. And the parents, well, it depends, doesn't it, if they're sharing childcare. So anyway, there's a lot of apples. They sleep during the day. Well, let's hope they weren't woken up by Madame Peach sticking her head in. I mean, obviously I was a little bit worried that she'd get bitten on the nose or something. And foxes have got long noses, so, thinking of Basil Brush now. But anyway, so that was that drama. So I've filled up a whole food bin of stinky apples, so that's nice. What else have I achieved? Cattery, apples, prepared the tour. Suddenly realised how unladylike. I'm quite unladylike at the moment, because I've got one foot on the bench and one foot on the floor, and people are walking past probably thinking, why is she talking to the camera and why is she sitting in such an unladylike way? Foxes may be scared of cats, but are not all foxes, and this is Peach. She is of a paler colour. Maybe they think she's a funny-faced fox. I'm trying to tell you things without spoiling the tour, you see. I do have a video of Odessa chasing a fox round and round. If I have one sticky apple, I get infested with sink and fruit flies. Well, Laurie's infested. Wow, that's her personal infestation. When she opens up her mouth, all the fruit flies come out, which is the same as when you open up my fruit bin. Food bin. Unfortunately, there are about 500 apples on the tree, or there were. There's just so many. I've taken some to the cattery, taken 2 lots to the cattery. I've given some to my famille. I've taken some to the hospice. Yeah, there's more apples than I can shake a stick at, or shake a brick at. Not a brick, shake a stick, or a branch is what I was thinking, not a brick. That would just be silly. And I also did cut down some of my shrubbery, because I have lived in that house for 18 years. And ideally you would trim down the shrubbery once a year, and I think I haven't done it fully every time, so it's now kind of more shrub than garden. They will buzz you when you try to eat, but there's also this difference. Fruit flies, his hands are sweating and I must stop everything. Is this the husband? His hands are sweating. I've got the M&N song, sorry Nikki, going around my head. My hands are sweating when I can't remember the rest of the words, but I do know something about hands are sweaty when he's about to deliver his, might be hot. Of course, he might need actual medical attention. My apple tree is, the houses were orchards, I think. All the houses were for the orchard workers, so yeah. It is a large apple tree, and it has been, I mean, it's not massive. It's just been an absolute massively bumper crop this year. Sometimes you're fine, and sometimes you just get overwhelmed by the number of apples. Time flies like an arrow, fruit flies like a banana. I opened the front door to get ready to go out, and unfortunately a black fly has gone in, and that's really annoying. So when I get home, I do hope one of the cats have eaten it. Hello, Dawn. He's drinking tea with a cat on his lap. He's obviously just a drama king. And do not let him distract me from the point of actually starting the tour by everybody's concern that Nikki's overdramatic husband actually has something wrong with him. You say my cats will get it, but Lou can't. He can't jump. Dessa can't be bothered. She watched a squirrel go past her the other day. She was like, yeah, whatever. Kato, no. Peach, if it's within her radar, and Apollo, not so sure. 6:30, thank you, Margaret. Thank you, know what that means. Hello, everybody. Isn't it marvellous to see you all? And we're going to have a super, super lovely walk along the River Medway in Maidstone, which is one of our favourite walks. Well, I know it's one of mine. And I'm going to be sharing with you my tales of Lincolnshire. So I'm going to turn the camera around, which I had for one moment forgotten how to do that. Splendid. And, well, I'm going to get the gimbal to sort itself out because it was a little bit sticky in the air. Wonder where our lovely Anne is today. Look at that. Honestly, isn't that amazing? The skies now are completely different to when I left the house. And that's all looking rather lovely, isn't it? Well, that side isn't quite as exciting. But now what I'm going to do now is we appear to have some news. And I'm actually going to walk up on the pavement, which isn't what I normally do. But I don't wish to cause drama. It's so pretty. I used to live around here and never did I come down really. 7 years I lived in the area and never did I really come down to the river. Which is ridiculous really, but you often don't go and see what's on your doorstep unless it is your literal doorstep. Well, it's actually a river. So this is the River Medway. And of course, part of the reason why Maidstone is was such a popular market town, of course, is the water. I'm sorry to read that, Nikki. So we are walking along to Elaine's fairy garden. Now, Elaine is a wonderful woman, and we'll have a look at some of these flowers, shall we? Oh, they're very pretty. Sunflowers. Past a sunflower farm in not sunflower farm, sorry, sunflower field. While I was in Lincoln, and I'm going to start talking about Lincoln after we've walked past Elaine's fairy garden, because unfortunately in July some teenagers used their pellet guns or their catapults, and on one day they killed 11 of her doves. 11. And then the next day there were more seen, and they had killed, whoever they is, killed another 5, which is just... And would you believe I read that Elaine is 84? Now, we've met Elaine a couple of times, and I would not ever have said, oh, hello, I'm so very long. I've grown since you last saw me. Well, this is the great thing. CCTV. So the footage was passed to the police, and I very much hope so. But yes, I would never have said Elaine was 84. I can't imagine why anybody would do such a thing. I was just about to get Sue to tell me what those are, then I realised they're artificial, so I saved myself a little bit of embarrassment there. Yes, I can't remember when we came down here. Oh, hold on. Hello. Oh, hello. I don't know why I had to say it like that either, no. Such a wonderful place. Hello, hello babies. Hello babies. You look after yourselves. Yes, you look after yourselves. Poor little things. It literally, I saw that and then I couldn't even. Oh yes, they were talking about the blood moon before just about to get run over by a van, no less. Oh, now he wants me to go that way. Oh, great. See, marvellous. Oh. Well, I think we have some more building works going on, peoples. Oh, it's sunny like Piccadilly Circus. Oh, look. The black cat, which started appearing on lots of road signs, speed limits all across the UK. Let's think of cheerier things. Let's tell you all about my trip to Lincoln, shall I? So I went on Friday the 29th of August. I've looked directly in the sun, so now I've got, interestingly, I've got some blob in front of my vision. And I'm going to say that I went with Doris and Bob, because this is a public stream. So I'm going to refer to the two people I went with as Doris and Bob. And Doris drove. And we left at 10 o'clock. And it took 6 hours. I think we could get into the cottage at 4 o'clock. And we got there at 1 minute to 4 or something, which was rather splendid. And this is where I shared the photo, because I passed through the village of New York, which of course then had me singing New York, New York for quite a part of the journey. So I did not know that there was somewhere in England called New York. I did wonder if Emma would join and then she would appreciate the Bob. So arrived at this cottage, and I know you're all nosy and you want to know what it looks like. So the good news is I'm going to share the photo. And there is the cottage. Now, what you're looking at, apart from the double garage, was a disused barn that the owners bought in the 1970s. And then they did an extension out the back as well. This is one of the bedrooms, which had its own ensuite, which is rather lovely. Then this is a room I stayed in, on the right by the window. Now the curtains didn't actually fully, hello Rosemary, didn't fully meet, but it doesn't matter because I can actually sleep in complete light, so that was fine. And then I'll show you my bathroom. Look at that, a wonderful roll top bath. I only went in it once, which doesn't, can I just point out, mean that I didn't actually clean myself. Just that I didn't actually have more than one bath. So that was a bit of a treat, because although I do have a roll top bath in my house, as you will have seen from the Apollo and Peachy streams, it's the older version, and it's not comfortable at all. It's quite short and you have to bunch up. Now the thing is about this bath is the taps. are in the middle. And so the one that I've now got kids shouting away, you know, blah, 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 blah. Oh, asking for my handle, I'll give you my door handle. So yeah, the taps are in the middle. So I thought to myself, I wonder if it is better to have taps in the middle. Well, it isn't, because what I thought is I got in, and then I finished doing the water. And of course, then what happens is that, you've actually got the either hot water or the cold water going on the side of you. So I can hear something coming. Let's see if it's exciting. Oh, it's a very nice boat on the water. Let's wait for that. I thought he had a pink hat on, but it's a flag. But at least now I know the answer to the tap debate. Although if there was two of you, I do appreciate that having the taps in the middle obviously means there is no awkward tap end. So want to go ahead with a middle tap bath, an end tap bath. Yes. Yes, I'm streaming. If they know I'm streaming, instead of perhaps just nuttily talking to myself, then they will probably cause even more chaos. So, lovely cottage. And we're about 30 minutes from Lincoln. So Lincoln, for those of you who are missing your Hago map, is in the east of England, towards the north of the country. And it was about 30 minutes drive. We didn't actually drive into Lincoln. We actually drove to the Park and Ride. Very much. And the Park and Ride has 3 stops. You can get off at the bus station. You can get off at the middle, which we didn't do, so I have no idea whether that's any good, or you can get off and just by the cathedral. So I'd recommend, if you're first going into Lincoln, get off at the bus station and walk your way up. Obviously, if you want the cathedral, then get off at the cathedral stop. Because, as you know, I'm not going to share photos of that, because I will be, as I said, I did take some video, so I will share that at some point. And you can go up Steep Hill, which apparently is the thirdest? That's absolute nonsense. The third steepest sort of pedestrian street or what have you, but I could be wrong. But you certainly felt it. Done at all there. So it looks like we've got some people with IT issues. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about that. So I would ask if you can refresh the screen. Went to the tourist info, which is in. Got a map, which was, that's rather full on, isn't it? I would think if Fran's okay, and she's in Canada, and people in the UK aren't, then there might be an issue with the UK networks. Doesn't really operate frequently on the Sunday, and so we decided to go into Louth. Now, I may be pronouncing this wrong. I've just had a sign come up saying there's a weak network transmission. So If it carries on, unfortunately, I won't have much option but to end the tour. We've done this walk before and we haven't had issues. So what I'm going to do is actually hear me or see the stream. It's just me walking around with a phone and a gimbal. May well be, because it's a blood moon, all the wolves are out. Quite expensive as well. But if you want your own mooring, beautiful property, then why not? Budlier. Thought somebody called my name then, that was a little bit... Well, we'll know if we get into town proper. Friendly. Did have people chatting to us on the park and ride and in town, and so St James's Church was our first stop, which has got a spire of 293, tallest medieval parish church in the country. Sure. In some sort of grassed area out the front, switching hands, and this is what I saw, and I thought of you all. Oh, there is Mike. I thought of you all and what you would be saying if you were there. So there's now the sculptures are discovering, contemplating and understanding the meridian line, which is the steel ribbon. And the Greenwich meridian, 0 degrees, passes through Louth. And I found out there were 3 sculptures, so we thought, okay then, what we'll do is we'll try and find the other 2. Well, goodness gracious me. I think that tree's fallen over. Obviously had a few too many. Surely that's not meant to be. Oh, goodness gracious me. That means the ferries won't be able to get past. That's such a shame, isn't it? Well, it's certainly not very well. Do we think it's come off that? No, can't actually see where it's. Well, I never did. Well, I never did. I guess it's just a bit like that one, and then after a while it takes. How often does the river flood? Not as often. Well, it hasn't flooded. It gets high. But, you know, if you think about it, they are rather leany, aren't they? If you look at these, they are rather leany in the old water. Let's try and walk down here and not lose a signal completely. I'm going to sneeze. Bear with. Oh, I do apologise. What I maybe should have warned you in advance is that I don't tend to do a very quiet sneeze. But this is a nice view. Oh, goodness. So, anyway, we went into an optician's and we said, do you know where the statues are? Not the foggiest, they said. I don't come from Louth. Okay, fine. Went into another shop, asked them, don't know, I don't come from Louth. So then it was kind of like, well, who actually lives? Who lives in Louth? You know, where is it? Anyway, so we finally met somebody who came from Louth, didn't actually know either, but said, now I think I remember seeing one of these by the library. And so we trotted over to the library and we saw this gentleman. And then we had our sandwiches, which is very nice. And then, because I managed to use Google Image, I managed to find the third one, Louth, Tina. And then I found the third one outside of school, who's rather pretty. And this sign I thought was just brilliant. Lost in Louth, hope you discovered a place you were not looking for. Well, we did. Oh, do you like that? We did discover something that we weren't looking for. So I said, I'll direct you to where we need to go. And basically I put on Google Maps. And Google Maps told me to go up this alleyway. And Google Maps was ridiculous and also caused a few issues because we went up this alleyway, and I can show you where we came out. And as I came out and I stood there waiting for Bob and Doris to come up, I suddenly looked down and I had some leaves stuck to the base of my trainer. And I thought to myself, well, that's interesting. Why? What? So anyway, I lifted up my foot and I realised that they were stuck to the base of my trainer, unfortunately not with super glue, but with dog poo, which rhymes, but one is slightly more offensive. And I said, stop. But unfortunately, they didn't hear till they reached up with me. And I said, there's dog poo in the alley. And Bob looked at his shoes and he was actually fine. Unfortunately, Doris was not. So Doris and I now have dog of the do on our shoe. To make matters worse, I had dog of the do on the side of my shoe. And as I picked up my shoe, I stuck my finger in it. So now I have dog of the do on the bottom of my shoe, the side of my shoe, and on my finger. So, as it's me, I'm not going into some sort of meltdown because this is the sort of stupid thing I do. I had a reputation when I was younger that if there was any dog poo, I could tread in it. And so we backtracked. And to be fair, the alley was ridiculous because it literally was an L and it didn't save any time. It just meant going down a very dark alley. And oh look, there's the Kentish lady, the boat. When Ginny came down to visit me, we took a trip on the Kentish lady. That looks very much like a private party that's hired out the Kentish lady. Oh, it was way beyond tissue, Tina. So we went into a coffee shop, me walking on the heel of my foot so as to not spread any of the delight that we hadn't managed to get rid of. And there were two sinks. Doris is smaller than me, so she had the smallest sink and I'm next to her. Oh, this is actually one of my most embarrassing stories. So when we went into this kind of, I'm not going to name it, it's a chain and you can get type of baguette type things. And very good. Will it be able to get past the tree? Well, we'll soon see if it comes back again. And So, and it said for customer use only. Now, normally that would be absolutely fine. We would have got a drink. But obviously we were in a bit of a situation. We really urgently needed to get into the toilet to be able to, you know, do ablutions. So I, for some reason of which I'm not even sure I know why, I decided that it was empty and locked. And I couldn't go all the way to ask for the key. So I thought what I would do is, in my wisdom, I would see whether or not I could open it myself. There was a little slit in the round kind of bolt, and I moved it with my hand. And I opened the door. Well, I unlocked the door. As I was just opening the door, a gentleman on the other side started to come out. And I'm absolutely mortified because there's been somebody in there and I've unlocked the door and I'm about to burst in. Thankfully, he had obviously finished doing what he went in there to do. Now, because I'm in a state of shock, unfortunately, what I actually said is this: I'm terribly sorry, I have dog poo on my finger. And he said something. I'm not sure what he said, because I think I'd gone into a state of utter shock, not only of having nearly burst into this chap, but actually having told him I had dog poo on my finger, because he had no need to know. This is information he did not need to know. And I did not need to share it. And I was utterly mortified. And so what he said was drowned out by the chaos ringing round my ears. So we did ablutions, and we were in quite a while, because it turned out that this particular brand of gift had kind of found the grooves and didn't want to let go. So we're in there a while, and I was actually at this point thinking there's only one customer toilet and there's going to be a massive queue, and Dorothy's thinking the same. So we're looking at each other. I said, listen, I said, what we'll do is we'll say that you had a funny turn and I was helping you, because also two women coming out of the toilet, again, what would people think? Who knows? So I said, not to worry. And then she said, well, you'll need to go first. So I summon up my courage to deal with this angry horde of people. Why on earth have you been there for so long? We're all waiting. So I braced myself, I opened the door, and there is nobody there. And I was like, oh, well, that sounded quite good, isn't it? That's splendid, actually, splendid. Let's now leave there now, very quickly. Oh, wonderful. Nobody ever needs to know we were here. So off we trot. Trot perhaps is the wrong use of words. And Doris then buys a bottle of water and some toothbrushes, so we can go back to a park and do what I would say was a great activity during my holiday. But what I can say is, although you wouldn't have wanted to, you would never have eaten your dinner off my shoes. So yes, that was chaos, which was mostly self-inflicted completely. So yeah, happy ending, yay. So then we went off to see some more of the Meridian line. We walked past it, but we did get to meet this lovely fella called King, who was in his third home, and lovely dog, very, very dependent on his owner, and his owner wasn't aware actually about the Meridian line that we showed him, so that was nice. And Now, because I spend my time doing exceptionally productive things on holiday, I decided to do a jigsaw puzzle while I didn't have the peach, and hopefully you like this one. This is called Kittens Fishing. Mother was, Doris, was very impressed that I did a 500 piece jigsaw within 24 hours. So that takes us through this day. So no, you need that. Not all that. I can't even deal now. One's a pom-pom on legs, and one's a sausage on legs. So this is where Pam and I did our interview, which is rather lovely. Has the signal picked up now we're here, by the way? Yes, Teeny and Fluffball. Let's watch where I'm treading, because this would again be ideal doggy gift territory. Now, either, oh no, let's go all, I don't think anybody's actually dropped button mushrooms. I think we've got a few fungi. There you are. Not going to eat them. No, I'm not. And that is a lesser spotted plastic bottle lid. Well, I'm glad, Tina, you got to hear that all. My mortification. I think a few of you dropped off due to the poor signal. So the next day, we went back in on the park and ride to Lincoln. And Tennyson is linked in because Tennyson, the poet, and member of the House of Lords. He lived between 1809 and 1892. And there's a wonderful statue of him with his dog, which I thought you'd appreciate when I can find it. Oh, I've jumped far too far. So there you are. There's a picture of Tennyson with his dog looking lovingly. What is that? What is that? What is what? Do wish it didn't kind of, I wish it would control itself, or I could control it. Oh, right, sorry, no, there's a sculpture, I see, yes. So let's take that off for a minute. This is part of the Millennium artworks. I could have told you. I've forgotten what it's called. Yeah, it is a lovely statue, isn't it? I do love the fact he's got his puppy dog as well. So it's not a Mars habitat, and it's a Millennium egg or something, I think. Wouldn't it be outrageous if it birthed a dinosaur? Oh, it's hard. Oh, I say, It's actually very hard. I did not realise. I've never been up so close. It looks like a marble, doesn't it? Gosh. Looks like an Easter egg with rubber bands around it. I can assure you it's not actually an Easter egg or a hard-boiled egg. So let me go back to the ones I missed. Beautiful. I cannot wait to take you on a tour down here. This is the back of Stokes Coffee House or restaurant. On the other side, I started chatting to a lovely lady after, guess what? Yes, a doggy decided to gift the pavement something while we were both eating our sandwiches. It's a good reason to start up conversation. This is part of the view. You can see the tourist info is that building on the left. Moving forward, you can see the cathedral. Absolutely stunning. Thank you. Yeah, it's the Millennium Egg, guys. Morning Thoughts Alien Egg. I think we just call it the Millennium Egg. Then this is the window of the tourist info, which reminded me of one of the shops we went into when I was in Sprit, I think. Lots of quacky ducks. And then this is just to show you that a tour guide is nothing if not creative. So as I visited one of the said conveniences, while I was carrying my gimbal, I found myself a new gimbal holder. My gimbal's very proud to be actually hosting a tour while showing itself. I hope you're enjoying this view because I'm crouched down quite low. Perhaps Bagpuss does live there, Mike. Let's have a wander. I'm more cautious about taking you back the route we normally would go. So I'm going to show more views across the bridge. Now, we did go to the castle, but it was getting on a bit, and we thought to ourselves, well, the castle's going to take a while. And I said, I think if you go to the cathedral in your gift aid, you get an annual pass. So I said it makes sense we can do part of the cathedral now and then go back to do the castle. So we did that. And what was really worked out well is that if you actually go to the cathedral, buy your ticket, get the annual pass, you get 10% off the castle. So that worked out really well. So this is a photo. Now, to get this photo in, I've obviously had to do jiggery-pokery with the camera, but that is the outside of the cathedral. It's stunning. It's on a large complex, and it really is lovely. And then you'll see some of the photos were taken at different times because there's more sun in this photo. And then inside. Now, this is absolutely fabulous. And there's a section in the middle where apparently the acoustics are great. So we went on this 1 hour tour, and he said, does anybody sing? And it's like this lady said, well, yes, and she did some sort of humming. She didn't actually sing. And he said, does anybody else want to sing? And of course, quite frankly, yes, I wanted to belt out a tune, but I thought better of it. Did I find the imp? I did indeed find the naughty little imp. So the legend goes that the imp was being naughty, and so they turned him to stone. There's the font, which is locked, and it's unlocked at Easter. I'm just being careful as I'm walking downstairs. And what I think we'll do is actually go the other way after all that. And now this is one of my favourites. This is the chapter house, and you can't really do it justice, but absolutely stunning. And so this is Cathedral, this is Lincoln Cathedral. So Lincoln Cathedral was consecrated in the 11th century, so to say it's rather old would be an understatement. The castle actually was also built in the 11th century by William the Conqueror, and it has got a copy of the 1215 Magna Carta, which I did indeed go to see. This is some of the, apparently, back in the day, Henry VIII came along, and it was painted in blues and reds and greens, or bright colours, and he said, no, I don't like it. So they covered it, or cleaned it, I can't remember which one it was. And I'll be honest, I agree with him. The thought of that being in colour, actually. And then this was me trying to be arty-farty in the cloisters. Just beautiful, and I can't do it justice really with photos, but if you do ever go to Lincoln, do go to the cathedral. Oh, it's in a bit of a wind tunnel here, so let's walk towards the toilet roll, shall we? I apologise now if there's a bit of wind. I'm imagining there is, because I can feel it. And the tour was included in the price of the ticket. So how far is Lincoln from Maidstone? Well, it would be a good 6 hours. It took 6 hours there and 6 hours back, but I went back to Hampshire. So I couldn't tell you how long exactly it would take from Maidstone because I didn't do the journey. So, oh, okay. So then the next day we went into, well, firstly, I then located Lincoln Water Tower, which was built in 1911. So I took Bob and Doris on a magical mystery tour, and we saw the water tower, and it's got the capacity for 1,356,000 litres, which back in 1911 may have lasted a day, and now is 2 to 3 hours supply. So quite a lot. But I saw this building while I was looking towards the cathedral, and I thought it was absolutely very much worth a visit. So there you go. There is Lincoln Water Tower. Isn't that impressive? Then we start walking towards the castle. And you can see a couple of cannons on the outside. And this is a video that I took while I was on a tour of the castle. And some of you may not be able to see it, but
the French and the rebels,
I can assure you it's there. Now, is it actually playing the video? Yes. So if you look, you'll see something crawling around at the top. It's my friend, Mr. Ratty, and I wasn't paying much attention to the tour guide because I was very much watching Mr. Ratty. Now, are you able to hear the sound on the video, by the way?
He is fighting a 70-year-old man. That would have been crazy. During the fight, the French commander was killed. Eventually, the French decided, we're not sticking around, we're out of here. And they began to retreat. With the Marshal's army giving chase.
It's a rat.
The French,
you can hear the sound. That's really interesting. That means I can now keep my phone on do not disturb when I want to share videos with you. So that's rather wonderful. And there was the option to I'm going to go down because it's very noisy here. There was the option to walk the castle walls, and these are the steps up to the castle. And Doris said, Nikki can only hear the sound, no video. Oh, that's interesting. That doesn't make much sense. I'm very confused. Did you all see the video on the left-hand screen? So I said, actually, I think I'll pass on walking round the walls. Thank you very much. Because I don't want to do that. So instead I went to the Victorian prison. And this is the view from the rear of basically the back of the Victorian prison. And this is inside. And I think hopefully you will all be, oh no, wrong one. Hopefully you will all be incredibly proud of me for actually going up, because there was the ground floor, the first floor and the second floor. and I actually walked up there all on my own, and I resisted the urge to panic. So yeah, I went to jail. Yeah, I went to jail. Very interesting. So didn't do the castle walls. Did do the go to the prison. It's just something I found obviously rather splendid. Thank you, Fran. And this is the toilets, which I found very amusing. What I forgot to tell you, I mean, obviously I knew I'd forget to tell you something, is when I first went to Louth and went into St James's Church, what I should have said to you, it was the site of the Lincolnshire Rising in October 1536. And the rising was led by the vicar, who was hung, drawn and quartered. Which is rather pleasant, I thought. I wouldn't personally want to be locked into the prison at night, no. That's not on my list of things to do. Then the next day, didn't walk into town, that would be an absolute fib. So on the 3rd, off the castle, I did some filming around Lincoln. And we met at 2 o'clock for a tour of the Guildhall. Lovely chap called Colin, who I then renamed Lincoln, which I'm sure he was immensely happy with. And this is on the outside of the Guildhall. So if the prison wasn't going to give you nightmares, that probably will. Look at the sky. I'm afraid I can't locate the moon for you, but I can get some pretty colours. And we've obviously had a plane going overhead. Or aliens are indeed landing. And that alien egg was just the first of a long line of alien eggs. Look at that. Oh, that's a cracker. So we went to the Guildhall, as I say, on the tour with Lincoln. And that meets you at the stairs, which I found rather humorous. This is the inside. So the mayor would sit at the top with the councillors discussing council business, Lincoln City Council. Pleased to see one of these in one of the rooms, which obviously is from I've managed to zoom in on the sky, which wasn't what I wanted to do. Let's move that. Technology is such a trial. I can move the chat, but I can't seem to move. There you are. Come on. Thank you very much. Landlover plus Monty. And this was part of well, goodness gracious, St Barnabas Hospice Heart Trail in 2023. try and get back to normal. And then this, unfortunately, had a lovely time. And the next morning I was woke up earlier than normal by Doris calling my name. And unfortunately, Bob had developed a temperature, and we had to call the 999. So out came an ambulance, out came the paramedics, Emma and Steve, who were absolutely wonderful. Why are people excusing themselves in the chat? And 30-minute journey, because of course we're in the middle of nowhere. 30-minute journey, and then I had an exciting adventure in Lincoln County Hospital, and I would not recommend a visit. In case you're wondering, I would not add it to the list of things to do. Unfortunately, as many of you will know, the NHS is overwhelmed. The highlight, and I thought of you lot, was when 2 German soldiers came into one of the waiting areas, or rather, you have the RAT. So the RAT is the Rapid Assessment Team, and they're labelled, the sort of areas are labelled RAT 1 to RAT 2, etc. Then you have the CDU, which is a clinical discharge unit. Then you get moved to an area of A&E because you've been discharged by A&E and are waiting for surgical. And it's all... There was a lady there who said she'd been there since Monday. This was Thursday, so I think that's unlikely, but it certainly could feel that way. And I did hear the poor reception staff, well, not reception staff, medical staff, saying, we know, unfortunately there isn't a bed ready. And then, of course, they are bearing the brunt. So Bob stayed in overnight, and we were all rather panicky. Do we get a hotel, because we have to leave the cottage at 10 o'clock the next morning. Do I stay? Do I get a train home? And thankfully, because of course they need the beds, we went along at 12 o'clock to drop off Bob's phone, and well, just before 12, and he was discharged. Rosie, Rosie, Rosie. I always say never rely on the YouTube notifications. Oh, I'm quite sure she hadn't been waiting since Monday. I'm fairly sure that even that would have been fairly beyond even, you know. But she was waiting for a bed. There are no beds. It also appears there are no wheelchairs when you need them. And then when you have one, 2 turn up at once. They're just like buses, it appears. Whoops. However, the view opposite the hospital is the prison. Isn't that beautiful? So on the Thursday when we'd gone home, we'd had to book a taxi as we'd gone in the ambulance, and I've developed a migraine because we've been there from 9 till 6, sitting, stressful, etc., etc. And I get in the car and the migraine's gone into it. And for those of you that struggle with migraines, sometimes the only way the migraine stops is by being rather sick. So I had a very intense nausea, and I'm sat there with a carrier bag, willing myself not to, because we were picked up outside the prison. So we used hansom cabs, and when they answer the phone, they're a well-known cab company in Lincoln, they answer the phone, "Hi, hansom," which I'm sure is very amusing. And I was trying to work out where he could pick us up from the hospital. And there are several different entrances to the hospital. So I decided the easiest place for him to pick us up was actually outside the prison. But of course then, I'm really worried that if I am indeed ill in this man's cab, he's going to think that I've come from the prison, and he won't think anything of dropping me and Doris in the middle of nowhere. I survived, I'm glad to tell you. It was probably it certainly comes within the top 3 worst journeys I've ever had. And when I went back, I'm pleased to be able to say I've just clicked on the wrong photo. I completed my second jigsaw puzzle. I upgraded to 1,000 pieces. And as you can see, it's, there's, interestingly enough, 2 people are being beheaded. So it's medieval, you've got Henry VIII, I think his wife. It was all very interesting. It was also infuriating because there are so many different colours, and I actually had to consult the box. But I was very pleased to get that done. And then I keep clicking on photos. The problem being that I've never actually loaded so many photos to prison before. So when I'm trying to click off one and take them out of my view, unfortunately I'm clicking on another. And then and out the front of the cottage there was one little thing in the floor that made a noise when you walked past it, and there was 2 yellow things put in, and I googled them, and they were sonic mold deterrents, repellents, whatever. And when I got there, I thought it was probably mold, because you see some sort of soil on the garden. And I thought to myself, it wouldn't surprise me if it's moles they're trying to deter. So then I googled, and yes, they are sonic mold deterrents. And so on the last day as we're leaving, my final photo, this made me smile after a horrendous day on the Thursday. I liked the mole's audacity. The mole is basically giving 2 fingers to that mole deterrent, because you can quite clearly see it has not deterred Mr. or Mrs. Mole at all. And that, my lovelies, is the end of the tour. Now, I thought they were lovely, the owners, absolutely lovely. And she said when she'd first spoken to people about the mares, they said, you know, you could get in pest controllers. But she went for the humane method. I said I think you could add it on as a tourist attraction. We apparently have some colour changing lights. Who knew? Do love a colour changing light. So that's the official end of the tour. So basically, that means that I am happy for those of you who wish to walk back with me, on the caveat that the stream may well dip in and I may have nothing of any interest to say. Thank you to those of you who, if you could like the video, and if you're able to send me a little something on PayPal, that would be much appreciated. It's how I manage to keep the virtual tour journey alive. Yes, it does get dark rather quickly, which is why I'm walking quicker than usual, so I'm not actually walking home in the pitch black, as the only light I have is on my torch, and of course I don't have much battery left. Yes, I do have interesting experiences. Some of the experiences I could do without. Oh, well, thank you, Dawn. Ah, well, Tish, that's part of a tour that I haven't yet given. I can't be showing all my wares at once. Has Mike fallen asleep? He's been quite quiet. He has fallen asleep on my tours before. As far as I'm aware, only the mindfulness ones, but I'm looking forward to sharing my video of Lincoln. There's some amazing architecture. Really was wonderful. I was due to go to Horncastle on the Thursday. We're going to go to Horncastle, which was another smaller market town to Louth, but obviously for reasons I decided it'd be far more interesting to spend the day in County Hospital. I'm glad that Mike is able to type while he snores. A virtual poke, wouldn't it be great if actually we could manage to do that, so Rosie could actually poke Mike? Although, Rosie, to be fair, I should have put you on the naughty step, seeing as you're so entirely late. I haven't had my dinner yet, and Baloo had meal number 1. Unfortunately, it would appear that Baloo appears to be coming out of diabetic remission. He had gone into diabetic remission and he came off his insulin injections. Oh, there's lots of midges. I think you can see those by the light. Unfortunately, he had started drinking just a little bit more, and my cat sitter did report that as well. So he's due to see the vet in about just over a week, so no doubt more blood tests, and it looks like we might be back to the insulin injections. Oh, goodness gracious, it was like going through a hurricane of midge. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I wasn't of the opinion that he would stay in diabetic remission. I could be wrong, of course. I wasn't of the opinion that he would stay in diabetic remission just because of his age. He's very wobbly on his back legs as well. He's 16 years old. He's I don't think I swallowed any because I blew at them. And made a delightful noise, as of course you will have all heard. So, but then again, if they're small, maybe I did eat a few, I just didn't taste them. But as I was saying, I haven't had my dinner yet, so, you know, a few midgets. Oh my goodness gracious. I'm just blowing raspberries. I don't think we've ever been along at this time of the year, at this time of night, because it's now turned into midge central. If I cut out, oh, that was a bit of a plunge. If I cut out, it will be because I've run out of battery malt. Oh no, it should be all right. I scared you. Oh, that's good. There are loads of them, aren't they? What do they eat? Apart from human flesh. Right. Maidstone, yeah, rename this part Maidstone. Rosie said all the time I thought you weren't there in person and it was a video. Well, I can assure you, young lady, if it was a video, then I would have stopped and run back to my car. But then if I say to you I'm going to leave now, everybody go, well, will you be all right getting home, getting back to your car? So it's just easier. I let you stay on the stream. I give you my permission, my authority. Oh, that was a bigger one. Of course, Rosie, if you'd joined on time, you would know exactly where we were. Not that I probably said, because that's what I like to do. I like to start my tours by not telling people where we are. If anybody lasted through, we're actually walking towards Tovel Green, which is in Maidstone. What was that on the sidewalk? Dead body? Goat? No, I would have noticed a dead body of an animal kind, not a human one. I think it was actually a person I just passed. But again, it could just be a shadow. No! I don't think I've ever done this journey so fast. Whoop! Oh, respect my authority. That's South Park for you. I'm not fat, I'm big boned. Sorry guys who've never watched South Park. I went through a phase about 25 years ago, I think. So not long. Oh, we're not where I thought I was. Oh, jolly goodness gracious me. I should be home. I should have eaten my dinner. I should have my feet up. I'm questioning my life choices. I'm walking in the dark, eating midges, talking to a phone. Oh, don't talk about smell. I went for Cattery yesterday and they'd put muck on the fields. Oh my goodness, the entire time it was like living next to a farm. It was very, very pongy. On the plus side, we got 2 cats reserved. Oh, Laurie says, I never watched it much, but I have to engage. Yes. Somebody just said good stream, so you know, I think he's talking about me, not the river. Don't think he's actually. Is that dog on its own? By George. By George. No, there's a human. Oh, good. It's actually lighter on the phone. It's always my worry. End up finding another lone dog. Are we on a lovely ramble, or am I having a lovely ramble? Somebody's on a lovely jog. Heavy breathing. Shimi is talking about Southwark. I like that. Shimi. Shimi. That's Mike. Oh, Mike. Now, if Mike, do you jog? I don't think you can be part of the cool gang if you do. Cool, of course, is something don't take too literally. I mean, I'm walking so briskly, it's almost like a marathon sprint. Starting to buffer again. Maybe, no, Laurie. I know full well you are a she, not a he. Well, perhaps if they're all using their mobilic trumpets. There are no Macrons in the fields. I mean, Macron, isn't that the president of France? Right, come on, bridge, appear. I feel we're getting close to the bridge, guys. Oh, Mike runs. Oh, Lord. Definitely can't be in the cool gang. The only exercise I do is talking. I'll be honest, I did walk quite a lot in Lincoln. And up steep hill is rather quite an achievement. Right, bridge fast approaching, we're on a slope. I've got to slightly change the angle of my walkage. Ooh, 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 I'm going to feel this tomorrow. Quick marches aren't really in my DNA. Laurie, thank you so much. I had not considered how many midges I had in my hair until you told me that I have midges in my hair. Hopefully they'll have flown off. Oh, midfield whites. Is that what they are, those flies? They're not goalkeepers, they're midfield. Oh, was that netball? Am I mixing up my sports? Ask Mike, turns out he's sporty. Ooh! Who put that dip in the road there? I know I prefer a midfielder, Midge. Dawn. I've decided all the midges have flown off, so I do not need to worry about that. Oh, something is certainly happening here. Probably the entire development's new and I didn't realise, so, you know, let's go say night-night to the doves. Night-night, doves. Sleep well, sleep tight. Oh, sorry, massive dip. Night-nighty. Stay safe from horrible people. Ooh, what's happening? Well, that boat kind of got stuck, by the way. You know why it didn't get stuck? And do you know how I know this? Because I can't, apart from being psychic, here it is. Toot toot. Toot toot. I'm waving at people. I have no idea if they're waving at me or the boy. Kentish lady making her way home. Yeah, look, the water's lit up as well. Right then, kids, you know what this means, don't you? I got back in one piece. I lived to tell the tale. I know, isn't it crazy? When you're on a boat, you wave at people, and when you see a boat, you wave at people. It's not the same when you're in a car, is it? Looks really light now. It's actually not light, but it does look light on my face. So that is now the real 100% end of the end. It's been lovely seeing you all. I do hope you enjoyed the tour. Speak to you soon. Take care. I think next weekend we're going to be looking at sculptures, videos of sculptures in Tunbridge Wells. So take care, darlings. Bye bye.